This nigga Kane is following me. If he gets too close, I'm telling him exactly what I had planned for Monet.
You better fucking not.
Just spoke to Diana. She said it wasn't Tariq who shot Monet.
Bullshit. You know it.
But don't worry about it.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
The fuck is this?
Stupid ass sister giving Tommy's mother Tasha's address. Ain't it, Diane? Drew, you know about this shit? Drew! Fuck both of y'all! Go!
Drew and Diana gotta go.
I know where Drew is tonight. Anybody sees him or loses him, that's a fucking target on their back too. You got it?
Pushing for Drew to take the throne, but he can't be trusted.
He is still your brother.
Always gonna be your mama's boy.
So Kane is in charge now all of a sudden.
All this shit is now.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. We had a crazy, eventful season 4, episode 3 of Power Book 2 Ghost, where Drew and Diana's secret about setting up Monet has officially been exposed, and with that, shit really got set off. I already went into detail in my last video about how Diana is gonna weasel her way out of the situation due to her pregnancy, so she basically gotta get out of jail free card. She's safe, but the same can't be said for Drew, as him and Kane are gonna be in an ongoing war for the rest of the entire season. Now, this video is going to contain heavy spoilers, so if you don't want to know exactly what's going to take place, you can leave the video now. And also, it might start a little slow, but it's because I'm going step by step to show you guys why each and everything happened, why it makes sense, why one thing leads to another. And we're going to point out all the different scenes, trailers, clues, and details of how it's all going to go down in this last and final season of Power Book 2 Ghost. And of course, we had to talk about who dies at the end, because they both won't make it out of this alive. We already saw them compete in this episode to be Normal's #1, but now they're going to be competing for the entirety of the streets. So let's go ahead and just break it all down. So as usual, you guys can leave a like, subscribe, let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So for starters, we have the character synopsis for each Drew and Kane, what it said about them coming into the season. Now, I had this for every single character and I didn't know if they were correct, but now seeing how the story progressed, they most certainly are, and I'm gonna read both of them. For Kane, it says, Kane begins season 4 with 2 guns and no fucks to give, as his quest to avenge his mother's shooting reveals the true conspirators, Drew and Diana. But in a twist of fate and mercy, Monet orders Kane to stand down, asking him to leave his siblings unharmed. That contradiction of street code from the woman who made him a gangster and killed her husband under the same circumstances of betrayal shatters Kane's matriarchal image of Monet. Furthermore, his self-image as her enforcer. Kane is left with this dilemma: so who am I? Fortunately, Noma is more than happy to help him figure that out. And then we got Drew Tahada. Drew began season 4 allied with Noma and his siblings as they go to war against Tariq and Brayton. But through a series of trials and revelations, Drew finds himself back where he started, wondering where, if anywhere, he fits into the business. A new, unforeseen alliance gives Drew a taste of the power he's been vying for within his family. But with all it costs, Drew has to come with terms with whether this is what he wants at all. After losing 2 lovers and a father to the world they live in, Drew begins to wonder if there's any true peace waiting for him at the end of his journey. Now, I'm gonna explain both sides of these for both characters because we already got footage and scenes and evidence of everything they're referencing in both of these characters' synopsis. So let's start with what actually takes place and we'll see what each character synopsis is referencing. Now, we know episode 4 is gonna pick up immediately where we left off at the end of episode 3, and we know this for the simple fact that Diana and Drew are wearing the same clothes. We see Diana's clothes when Tariq pulls up on her with the gun. We see them in the same clothes when they're running past the apartments and everything like that. So beginning this episode, we see Kane go tell his goons, everyone who worked for him, if they see Drew, let him know, call him immediately or they're gonna have a target on their back as well. And we also see a conversation between him and Monet take place where he tells her Drew and Diana has to go. And with that, we jump right into the action where we literally see them find Drew and Diana, catch up to them in some way, shape, or form, and take shots at them. Once again, Drew and Diana are running past these little apartments. We see them getting that same black car that they drove away from the house at the end of episode 3, and Kane is shooting at it this time. We saw at the end of episode 3 he couldn't do it, but now, once again, like he said, they have to go. So he takes shots at them. Obviously, they get away and escape once again. Now, I pointed out in my Diana video, her pregnancy is gonna get her out this situation, but it won't be the same for Drew. And this brings us to the first part of Kane's character description and its connection to Monet telling him stand down. The episode 404 description says Monet has to decide between revenge and forgiveness, and obviously she's gonna choose to forgive them. Now, I think it's gonna take place near the end of this episode for 2 reasons. I told you guys we got this one scene, of course, of Tariq entering the Tahada house, and we see him pointing a gun back at someone else. Now, I told you guys this is, of course, Monet. We can see her white sweater a little, we can see her red hair, and we, of course, saw in another scene that she was wearing these exact same clothes. Now, the reason I point this out is at the beginning of this video, when I be playing the little extra scenes and clips that haven't aired yet, we saw a scene of Monet telling Kane, "That's still your brother."
Pushing for Drew to take the throne, but he can't be trusted.
He is still your brother.
And she's once again wearing these clothes. So if this is gonna take place in this episode, it means Monet already chose to forgive them and changed her mind. And we know that because why is Diana back at the house? It wouldn't make any level of sense for her to return to the Tahada house if they're out to get her. And why would Monet be protecting her after just finding out what she did? So Diana, of course, she's safe once again because of her pregnancy, but Kane, he doesn't know how to handle this. They're traitors. She did the same to Lorenzo, like the character description says. He doesn't know what to do with this emotion, and he's gonna choose to continuously go at Drew. And that leads us into our next sequence where we see it's bright as day. They don't give a fuck. They're trying to take one another out, and it looks like Drew has the upper hand and he's pointing a gun at Kane. But we got another scene where actually Kane caught him lacking and Drew somehow took the gun from the nigga. Drew at this point has a chance to take out and eliminate Kane. This is gonna take place in episode 4, but he chooses not to take the shot. Bro just starts screaming like a bitch, and I think this is gonna be a missed opportunity that comes back to haunt this nigga. He won't get another chance like this. Should have took the shot right then and there. He wanted to be known as #1 so bad. This was his opportunity and he didn't go through with it. So now that brings us to Drew's character description and what's next for him, because he wanted to be known as #1, but now we know with them on the outs, that's Kane's spy. All the descriptions describe Kane and Noma working heavily next to one another. He's in the fighting ring with her, in the club with her, helping her with competitors and everything like that. And also they're fucking sleeping together. So it's pretty much his to go. So where does that leave Drew? Well, his character description talked about him having a new ally and giving him the power he always wanted. Now, I know you guys probably wondering who that is. Turns out that's gonna be Detective Don Carter. Yup, that nigga. Obviously, these cops in the power world, they're all dirt. Now, I'm sure you guys remember in the official trailer, we saw Detective Don Carter kill a nigga right in front of Drew. And one of the episode descriptions talked about Drew having to work for his organization and do shit like that to protect his family, but he's gonna start liking it, and that's gonna be his new role and position. And with that, him and Kane are gonna battle and compete for the streets. Once again, only one of them is gonna make it out alive. The episode 8 description describes this directly, and that brings us to a whole new set of scenes where we see them once again squaring off. Now, this looks like it's taking place in some type of store, and it's hilarious because when the official trailer came out and Kane was in the scene punching on somebody, people legit thought it was gonna be Tasha, because you know we saw her working at the store in episode 2 when Tariq went to go see her. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I doubt they show a nigga just beating the fuck out of girl like in a TV show, especially nowadays. Like, nah, it's just not happening. But of course, now we know it's Drew, and him and Kane are gonna get into a fight fight once again, but it looks like this time Kane might have got the upper hand. Now, I don't know if this scene starts with the fight or it starts with Kane pointing the gun at Drew and then turns into a brawl. Now, the reason I don't know yet is because we see them having a conversation prior where Drew whispers in this nigga ear and tells him he's always gonna be a mama's boy, and maybe that's what starts the brawl and it ends with the gun, or it started with the gun and he decided fuck that, we gonna throw hands, 20-0 and throwing hands, so he like fuck it, we could do that. This seems like this is gonna be the scene where it all falls apart, where it all comes to an end, where one of them takes out the other. Now, I've been continuously telling you guys I got the episode 10 description. Some of you think I'm just making it up, but I keep saying I never showed it because it's not confirmed like all these other ones with the air date, with the director, with everything, but it has the episode description as well as the title. So if you want it so bad, I'm gonna put the one for Kane and Drew out right now and say it right here in this video. I'm gonna make 2 more videos about the other ones since y'all want to know so bad, but once again, I didn't want to just put that these 2 characters were gonna die out there and it wasn't confirmed like the other ones, but based off how the story's been going, I think these are real and true, so I'm gonna say this one. Spoilers, this is your last spoiler warning. It says, after the death of Drew, Kane is on the run from Monet. Now, we don't know how Kane's story will end because we don't have no descriptions after this. It's the last and final episode. We'll have to wait and see what takes place then. But the episode 10 descriptions does basically give it away that Kane ends up winning this war. And you guys pretty much said this. You talked about the Cain and Abel relating to the Bible, and a lot of you predicted and wanted it to go down like this. Everyone pretty much had Drew as a death prediction going into this season, so it looks like you're gonna get what you wanted. Overall though, that's it for this video. You guys can leave your thoughts and opinions on everything down below. I didn't put anything too crazy in the title saying like exactly what happened, and I also put multiple disclaimers in this video, so I better not see motherfuckers in the comments mad, but nonetheless, that looks like how it's gonna unfold. Now, I'll put this disclaimer even for myself. I told you guys when I've been showing you all these other episode descriptions, they've been verified. They have the episode name, date, the director, all of that, so those was verified. This episode 10 description that I got, it looks like it's gonna happen by what's already been taking place this season. That's why I'm starting to believe it more and more, but it wasn't verified by the same sources like the other ones. So I don't want to say take this with a grain of salt, because once again, once I pointed out all these details, connected it to the character descriptions as well as what we've already been seeing, it's all starting to add up. I do think this is what happens by the end of the season. How the story ends for everyone else, for all that, we're just gonna have to wait and see. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.